Hello and welcome to 5 Minutes to Code with your host Matthew C. Applegate. Today we're going to be looking at some examples in processing. I love using processing to help new programmers to learn how to code. It's simple and it gives the coder almost immediate feedback, which allows them to better understand what the code is doing. If you don't already have processing, I recommend you pause the video and download it from the link below. Once you have processing set up, you're ready to begin. Processing is set up into two main areas, the setup area and the draw area. As the program is run, it jumps to the setup area and carries out those instructions first. It only does this once at the beginning of the program. After it has completed the instructions in the setup area, it moves on to the draw area. The draw area loops from top to bottom until the program is terminated. Let's check out the setup code for this example in more detail. The first command we issue is size 650 by 500. This is actually the screen size of our program. The second command we issue is background 000. This draws the entire background of the screen black. The 000 are RGB values which provide us with the color black. The third command we issue is rect mode center. By default, in processing, shapes are drawn from their top leftmost point. By using the rect mode center command, it will draw the shapes from their centermost point instead. The next section we will be looking at is the draw section. This is where the code loops and loops from top to bottom repeatedly until the program is terminated. The first command we issue is a float declaration. Float r equals random 255. This will create a random number with a decimal point and assign it to the variable r. The two commands below for G and B do exactly the same thing. What this code is doing is assigning a random color to the brush every time around the loop. So every time we draw a rectangle, it draws it a different color. The next command is the fill command, where we assign those R, G, and B variables we have just created. Instead of static numbers, we have the varying random numbers we created above it. Our next command is rect 325 250 50 50. Rect is actually short for rectangle, so rect 325 250 50 50 means to draw a rectangle at those first two coordinates. The 250s at the end are actually the width and the height of the rectangle to be drawn. Once we run the program, we'll see it will repeatedly draw a rectangle on top of the old rectangle, but in a different color, giving the illusion of a flashing rectangle. Okay, let's move on to example number 2. Now be aware, in example 2, you won't need to rewrite all of the code that you did previously. We're only going to add a few lines of code and change a few things here and there. The new line of code we're going to add is here. We're going to declare a new float called s and have it create a random number between 50 and 400. We pass in two numbers this time as we don't want any rectangle smaller than 50 and no larger than 400 pixels in size. Later on down here, we assign that size variable by knocking out the two 50s and replacing them with two s's. That way, every time around the loop, the program draws a rectangle in a random color and a random size. And finally, example number 3. All throughout the program so far, we have had a static x and y coordinate to draw our rectangle in the center of the screen. Now we are going to mix it up a little bit, and we are going to declare a new float. X equals random width. Now width is an inbuilt keyword. It takes the whole width of the screen as the value. The same is true of the height. We now apply it down here, where we draw the rectangle, replacing the 325 and 250 with an X and a Y. This will now draw randomly colored rectangles of a random size at a random location on the screen. I really hope you have enjoyed what you have seen, and if you have, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons below. Thanks for watching.